Hello ladies and metal chain, and welcome to another Is It Worth the Gold video. Today we are looking at the heavy tank number 6, the tier 6 Japanese heavy tank, the first heavy tank to roll out, and the sole purpose of this tank is to train your crews. I would not recommend this tank to anyone that wants to actually own a premium tank to make money with. First tanks you want to make money with, you should start looking at tier 7s. This thing is just not really worth it, but as a tank, I guess we can give it a fair shot and fair review. So you have 100mm frontal plate, which pretty much means that you're not going to bounce anything unless you angle it. And when you angle it, you're not going to bounce anything because everybody has more than 150 around the span, which is more than plenty to pen this tank, no matter how you angle it. You either will have an exposed front or exposed side. You cannot really get more than 130 armor on both plates at the same time. That being said, the turret, you do have a pretty decent gun mantlet. I guess it's not Russian decent gun mantlet where KV-1 can bounce 250 pen, but it can do the job. It cannot do the job. I mean, it depends on where you get shot, but the turret ring is 100, so I mean, it's not reliable to say the least. This bug is annoying as shit, but yeah, whatever. Cupola 50mm, really big. Really tall, so never stop moving when you play this. Extremely weak to RDS, the top armor is 27. You have side armor of 80. Again, side scraping isn't really a thing because the turret is mounted on the Tigers really poorly, and yeah, it's not really gonna work very well. If you side scrape like this, they will just be able to get the front, and the side also won't have that much armor. Side scraping still better than not side scraping, but meh. The armor isn't really the strong suit of this tank, but let's get into the replay and see what is. So here's the game. Bad news again. The tank does not get preferential matchmaking and hurts in a big way. Why? We'll find out in a moment. But as always, before the game starts, let's get into the stats. So I am going to be comparing this to the VK3601H, the German tier 6 heavy tank, as it is the closest match for it. So 950 hit points for both. Engine power 650, but the tank is way heavier, which means that the power to weight is actually worse and the soft stats are equal. So the heavy tank number 6 is slower than the VK. Traverse speed 26, turret traverse speed 20. Really bad turret traverse here. View range 370, which is exactly like the VK. And when we come to the gun, there's some more bad news. So this is the Short 88 KVK 36L56. 132 pen is extremely poor at the tier, and 220 alpha damage is alright. Accuracy open 38, 2.3 second aiming time. The rate of fire 8.57, slightly worse than on the VK. But the biggest grind with this is that it doesn't have vert stab, and the gun is actually quite inaccurate if you don't aim it fully, and it can take quite some time. And as I mentioned, the tank does not get preferential matchmaking, so in tier 8 games having 130 pen can be extremely painful, and to add more insult to the injury, the gold ammo is extremely inefficient, with having lackluster 170 pen and costing 3.2k per shot for 220 alpha damage, which is also extremely inefficient. So far it's all bad news. So is there anything good about this tank? Well, when you spawn top tier, this tank can be pretty ridiculous actually, because if you face tier 4s, they can't really do much against your 100 armor. I was saying that everybody has 150 pen. At tier 7 they do, but at lower tiers, tier 5 and 4s will actually struggle to pen your frontal plate. And well, the VK3601 is still better because it still has the 100 frontal and is just way smaller. But the Tiger 1 still can own lower tier games pretty damn well. The problem starts when you don't spawn top tier, as in this game. You are kind of stuck playing giant support tank, and it usually does not work very well at all. Another not so great thing about the heavy tank number 6 is that it gets only 950 hit points, so which is extremely average for a tier 6 heavy tank, but at the same time this thing is huge, and if you know how the Tiger 1 works, it has 1500 hit points, which is the average number of hit points for a tier 8 heavy tank, and the Tiger is obviously tier 7, so usually the big no armor tanks get compensated with having more hit points. This tank does not. So in higher tier games it is gonna drop like a fly compared to the Tiger 1, which can still trade reasonably well because of the amount of hit points you have. So tips on playing this is pretty damn simple. You engage the targets you can penetrate. You try to avoid fights that are extremely bad for me. So like, I'm not gonna go and face an IS-3 if I don't have to. Or, well, I won't face him until it's my last play left in the game. And try to stay hull down whenever you can. Try to support when you're in bad matchmaking and take the lead when you're in good one. So is there anything that tier 6 Japanese Tiger does better than any other tier 6 heavy tank? And the short answer is no. The long answer is no. This is a bad tank overall. It has, it's just below average in pretty much every category. It's big, it's slow, it has a poor gun with not very good DPM and really bad penetration. So no, I would not recommend anybody to buy this unless you're super into playing Japanese heavy tanks that haven't come out yet and really want to get to play them with a good crew. As the equipment I would use on this, it has to be rammer, ventilation, and binos. You can't mount vert stab, so that's another big loss for this thing, and carrying anything else doesn't really make a lot of sense. The one thing this tank is pretty decent with is the gun depression, 8 degrees pretty much all around apart from the back. It is better than on average you'll get to this tier, but then again it doesn't really make up for all the faults of the tank. But again, as I said, this is more of a collector's tank, and it's not very good at making credits, or it's not a very good tank in general, and it doesn't have preferential matchmaking, which would make it alright, I guess, but without it, it's pretty damn lackluster, as I mentioned many times before already. So for the crew skills, as this is a premium tank, you're not really picking it for this thing, you're picking it for the heavy tank Japanese line that has not been released yet. They promise to be extremely big, extremely slow, and artillery will just make fun of them, so not really sure why would you even bother grinding this line, but as the crew skills, you definitely need full repair, and other than that, just you choose the regular good skills and don't go for the useless ones, obviously. So in this game, I played pretty much support, tried to avoid any direct contact, tried to avoid getting shot too much. I'm pretty sure I'm bouncing like that Type 58 last couple of shots, but that is not really that dangerous to me at this distance when I'm hull down. Trying to avoid shoot anything that I couldn't pen, and I kind of got lucky that all the tier 6s were bunched up here, and I had pretty decent shots at them. Now another shot into this M6 will most likely finish him off, and there we go. I'm thinking about going for the ISU. Whoever was shooting me from that corner probably will keep shooting me, and I changed my mind, because first of all I have to peek over a ridge or go really far into the open to get a shot on that ISU, and it's really not going to be worth it. The super pushing, however, is more than unlikely looking this way, so I should have some easy damage on this guy. And here he is, completely unaware of me about to shoot him in the side. Pretty sure that one hit, and we are going to push on and try to spot him and shoot him in the side or the back some more. But this game is pretty much won already. The ISU has done pretty good cleanup on the flank I was on, and now just a couple of last enemies left alive. The invisible super pushing at around 300 meters are a bit annoying. I don't have 6th sense, but I'm more than likely to be spotted now. The super pushing does not choose to shoot me back though, and just runs away. I should get some more free shots into this guy though before he signs out. What a nice guy, eh? More enemies like this, please. So one more shot into this guy should seal the deal here. He probably is going to get shot by that IS-6, and that is going to be the end of him. And yeah, my last shot does not connect because he's already dead. I did hit a couple of blind shots in this game at least. The one on the super pushing, I think I hit the Panther too as well. So we're probably around 3k damage down already. So while the game wasn't too epic. I did manage to play support in a tier 8 game with a terrible gun, so it always feels nice to have a decent game in a matchmaking like that. So here's the end plate, 3758 experience with the double, ace tanker, 3146 damage done, 1253 base experience, 1 kill, not the most epic game ever, but as I said, bottom tier game, this tank on average is gonna perform terribly, and this wasn't exactly terrible, so here we are. To sum it up, is the heavy tank number 6 worth the gold? No. Fuck no. Never. In million fucking years. No. Unless you're super, super, super keen of getting into the heavy tanks, the new Japanese heavy tanks with a good crew. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you on the next one.